Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Jen Cares, powered by Chosen Counselors. I am your host, Jen Cares, and the founder of Chosen Counselors, a nonprofit organization that seeks to inspire, motivate, empower, and strengthen individuals and families. As always, I just want to start off by saying thank you so much for tuning in, for liking, for commenting, for sharing. You are helping Jen Cares reach far beyond what I even thought. Just this past week, I've come in contact with several people, like almost 5 in one day. I was overwhelmed. They were saying, I love what you're doing with Chosen. I love, your platform. I love what it is you're doing. And that really made my heart glad. And guess what? This month's theme is It Takes a Village. And it takes the village of encouraging somebody that's out here doing something for the village to keep on doing it. So I appreciate each and every one of you for your support and for your love. Special thanks to our guest last week. We had James Brown, DJ extraordinaire, and he did an amazing job just sharing and dropping some nuggets. And tonight we got another good friend, Maurice Williams. He is the founder of Born with Purpose, and he's going to share more about what it is that he does and tell us about his part in the village. So help me welcome and introduce, Maurice Williams of Born with Purpose.
Whoa, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored. That's what they say. I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed and highly favored too, because some of the favor we get, we don't realize is the opening doors of Jesus. So I'm appreciative to be alive and living and kicking. Feel like my voice trying to leave, but we still press on, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's it. So over here at Chosen Counselors, Jen Cares, we always start with a quote of the night. And today's quote of the day is, "The purpose of life is a life of purpose." Robert Brown. Again, the purpose of life is a life of purpose. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's just such an outstanding quote. The purpose of life is to live a life of purpose, to live a life of meaning, right? And I think purpose truly, I guess, becomes the word when you're able to attach that to other people and able to allow for others to be impacted and empowered or enlightened by your life. And that doesn't have to be the masses. It could be your son. It could be just your daughter. It could be your wife, your husband, but I think that purpose, it really comes to life when you're able to attach that to somebody else, because I think that's how God intended it to be.
Very good, very good. And we definitely want to have a life of purpose. Like, what are we here for? And tonight we're going to talk about that because everybody has a part to play in a village. It was funny, the guy that was speaking on Sunday, he was sharing how growing up, if one neighbor saw you doing something that you wasn't supposed to be doing, they let your mama know. And if somebody else saw, they all let your mama know. And it took that village. And as irritating and agitating as that was, as an adult or as we grew up, we found out that was love. That was them looking out for us. So everybody plays a part. That nosy neighbor, that nosy whoever it is, that auntie that's all in the business and sauce and things, they all play that part. And they all have a purpose to help us to be the best version of ourselves.
Hey, Jen, if I can cut in real quick, you're taking me back. I grew up with my grandma, and on my grandmom's block, it was a one-way street, but it was so lively, right? And there was this one lady, I forget her name, but nothing could get by her because she was always in the window. She was always in the window, so she knew all the news. She knew all the stories. So don't do anything on the block, because if you did, it was coming back home. Somebody was going to know. Yeah. So that village piece, I love that.
That window, I'm telling you. I mean, they're not in the windows nowadays because a lot of different things are happening. But that window, man, you thought that curtain was closed. You thought it wasn't nobody behind it. Like, let me see. No, Miss Ruth saw me calling my mama. Goodness gracious. But again, we're grateful for them checking on us, for looking out for us, because somebody did it for them, and the heart was in the right place. The heart was in the right place.
And honestly, it kept you in check. It was a sense of accountability that you didn't see, but you knew was there. Yes. So in a sense, you operated differently because I knew that somebody's watching me. I know that somebody's going to tell somebody if I do something. And that level of, how can I say it? I was just saying accountability really matters because it truly keeps you in line and allows you not to make mistakes or to make poor decisions that you would do if somebody wasn't watching over you.
Yes. It's so good. And we're grateful for it now. But again, in the moments, it's like, what's going on? And even now today, I remember growing up and they found out I was a church girl. So they was like, she's going to be a little different, or maybe she's not going to be different. Like, is she going to be, things of that sort. And I used to get mad because I'm like, why y'all looking up me? Why y'all looking up to me? Like, I'm human too. But I then learned to count it as a privilege and an honor that I wanted to live my life a different way. So that called me to stand apart and to be separate and things of that sort. So it's all in that too, of that accountability. Somebody is always watching to see what you're going to do. You got to always stay on your game. And it'd be like, I just want to fall back today. No, somebody is depending on you to make the right decision, to keep on holding out, to keep on having faith, to keep on pushing your vision of Born with Purpose, and as overwhelming as it is, it's also gratifying to know that you're helping somebody else in this journey.
Yeah, I want to jump in on that because while I was in the backstage, while you were doing your thing, and you were saying that how you met, some people this week, I think almost like 5 people, and they were able to encourage you and say, you're doing a great job. Keep on inspiring. I'm listening. I'm watching you. And sometimes that can be so uplifting because you never know who's watching, because sometimes those views don't turn into likes and those views don't turn into comments or shares, and you're like, well, what am I doing this thing for? Ain't nobody giving me no traffic. But when you get out there and you go into the community and people are like, oh, I see you, bruh, I see you, sis, keep on going. You know what, actually what you posted last week inspired me. Now on the inside, the flesh is like, well, why didn't you comment, bruh? Why didn't you say something, sis? But my spirit is like, okay, God, I see you're doing something in me, and maybe I shouldn't be worried about what people are saying because I'm doing what you called me to do. Oh man, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right there.
Come on. But you need that, and I'm so amazed because again, it was people that I didn't think like. I may not be friends with them on social media, but somebody else shared it. And it was like, oh, yeah, somebody shared it. And I saw it. I was like, I tuned in. I was like, oh, okay. And the random things, because it doesn't turn into like all the time. It doesn't turn into a share all the time. And some people are sharing and don't really even like what you're doing. But hey, man, but you're still going forward, and it's just great to know that somebody is benefiting from the flowers that you're putting out there. Somebody is benefiting. And that's what we're about over here, like trying to share some other flowers that are out in the garden that are doing amazing things. So that's why we got you tonight, Maurice, to like let us know what it is you're doing out there in the streets.
Okay, yes.
So I always prepare some questions, but if any of my chosen friends have any questions, sometimes they don't. They're a little shy, but they'll comment a little bit. So if you have any thoughts that you want to share, be sure to drop them below. And we'll be sure to put them up on the screen so we can talk about it and add to this great conversation that's about to take place. So first, Maurice, tell us about yourself. Who is Maurice?
Wow. So my name is Maurice Williams. A little bit about me. I grew up in West Philadelphia, born and raised with a playground.
Where I spent most of my days. I wasn't on the playground. I didn't want to fall, mess with my legs. But go ahead.
Oh my God. All right. Yeah. So I was in West Philly, and I went to one of the worst middle schools, Shaw Middle School, very bad. And then I went from there to engineering and science in North Philly. And then my high school counselor, told me, you need to go to a school that's going to prepare you to be a leader because I see leadership in you. And, now that I look back on it, I realize now how much mentorship is important because I don't know if I would have made some of the decisions for my life if I didn't meet my guidance counselor, Ms. Jones. And so she instructed me to go to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. So I go to Morehouse and, I'm interested there because I want to make money. I want to improve my family situation. So I'm a finance major. Mm-hmm. And I attend this assembly and it says, you need to, the lady that was speaking, she said, you need to go home and make a difference. Now, in my mind, I'm staying in Atlanta. I love Atlanta. It's great weather. It's no snow. I'm like, okay, this is for me. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but the speaker that day, she said, it's not enough that you get this information. It's what you do with it. Can you enlighten other people? Can you go back to your village and to your community and take that rich information that you got here and be able to give that to other people? So I said, okay. So I felt like she was speaking directly to me, and that brought me back to Philadelphia to start this organization called Born with Purpose with my wife, Janae. And from there, we started to do youth development programs to really inspire and uplift and just give a sense of purpose to people that may feel like they don't have it. Philadelphia is a rough place, and once you start to talk to people and get away from the news stories and, what you see in the article or the newspapers, you'll see that it's people that just are looking for hope.
Yes.
And they're looking for love to latch on to. And that's what Born with Purpose is. We're a loving organization, that spreads love and empowerment through a variety of ways, whether it's through sports mentorship, whether it's through regular just life skill mentorship, entrepreneurship, public speaking, cooking. We just do a lot that resonates well with our community.
And that's so awesome. It's interesting. Last week, I guess he shared how growing up, his mom gave him a toy record player because he's a DJ and things, and that inspired him. And then you saying that when you were young, somebody else said something to you that planted a seed. And it's so important that we're aware of words that are coming out. Anybody can be used to inspire and encourage you if we just listen. Yes. The person walking down the street who looks like they don't even know where they're going can say something that can say, wait, I needed to hear that today. And sometimes we have to just open up our ears, clean our ears to hear what's going on, to be able to receive, because had you not received that of going back home to make a difference, you would have been living it up in Atlanta still, and it's nice. They got some nice places to go to. I like it. But that wasn't where, you were supposed to be. And sometimes when we're also, let's talk about this, when we are hesitant to move when we know we need to move to make the change that we were destined and purpose born to make. How have you had any challenges with that?
Yeah, yes. I feel like Born with Purpose was created in 2012. Okay. But it was a volunteer organization. So we would just gather and do some street cleanups, maybe feed the homeless and do some type of outreach. But it wasn't until 2019 where I made this a full-time opportunity for myself and for my wife. Okay. And then we was able to see the fruits of our labor. But I can only imagine if we would have started at 2012 or 2013. So that hesitancy, that fear of, man, I don't know if this thing gonna work.
Yes.
I got bills.
Yes.
I got responsibilities. I don't know if I can truly make this jump. And for anybody that's in that mindset of that, I don't know, the what ifs are playing heavily on your mind. Yes. I would say do something in the dream. Maybe it's not a complete jump. Maybe it's not a complete 9 to 5, get out of here, I'm not doing nothing with you. But maybe it's just if you have a passion in art, you don't got to go ahead and start an art company, but do a 6-week course and just see how it goes.
Yes.
Just start something out, so that you can get some type of traffic, get some type of confidence that you can do this thing, because the truth of the matter is you don't know until you know. You don't know until you know.
Oh, that's good. It's funny. I just smoke out there. I recently was looking at my mission again, right? And we started in 2000. It's been 6 years ago. I feel like it's been 6 years. Chosen counselors, and we started out doing some small things as well. not small, they were big, but small. We were doing like a back to school family night. Families come out, play games. They all leave with a game because I was big on family time growing up. So, we kind of also eating dinner together. That's something that doesn't always happen. We wanted to do that. And then we started sponsoring the family for the holidays with a full dinner and gifts and things for all involved in things of that sort. And that's been a blessing the last 5-6 years, whatever. And it wasn't until I was looking at my mission just in the last week, and it said that our mission is we seek to inspire, motivate, empower, strengthen individuals and families. I say that all the time, but I don't say the rest. And it reminds me of like scriptures. You know how we just say the one part and forget about the other part? Yes. And it says, by way of one-on-one counseling, family therapy, conferences, workshops, literature, and other events. And I was like, wait a minute. You're doing conferences now. Like, what? You've been doing some workshops. What? And that's what it is. If you start somewhere, you'll be surprised where it goes. And Maurice has been amazing. He's been at actually both of our conferences so far. We had two, a day of empowerment, phenomenal on the panel, and a day of hope, phenomenal with the parents, who actually inspired our third one that's coming. And I was like so inspired and excited about what it is that we started as this baby that is now growing into a toddler and things. And it's like you said, you got to start somewhere and leave yourself room to grow. Because who knew I was going to be, I mean, I knew it because I wrote it, I guess, but I didn't know how it would come about. But that was just inspiring for me. So thank you for that.
Oh, yeah. And if I can just say, I'm glad that you have started Chosen Counselors, because I'm just thinking about the events that I've been a part of. They have truly been empowering, not just for the panelists, but for I'm sorry, not just for the participants, but for the panelists as well. Like, it has been great. And I want to sign up for whatever you do, because it's the level of spirit and energy that you bring into it. I don't have any issue with working with you. I don't have any issue with saying, I don't care who's in charge. I know that Jen cares about the people. Yes. So I want to sign up for that, and I love what you said, is just as far as just writing it down. I'm very big on affirmations and manifestations. And of course, you got to put the work in. I know that's important, but it's something powerful about writing something down and then looking at it daily. Yes. It does something up here. I wish I could get a scientist and figure out what it is, but it does something up here in the mind where your actions start to shift towards what you wrote down. Come on. And believe it or not, like, you're not saying that I'm doing what you wrote down, but your mind is gearing you for what you wrote down. So it's power in writing things down. Like, I think somebody put in the comments, out of our mouths we speak life and death, and that is so true. Out of our pens we write life or death. In our penmanship we can really spit life into our lives. So I'm glad that you mentioned that point, because it's so crucial. And the fact that in our communities, and I'm speaking to our brothers and our Black and brown brothers and sisters, we don't spend enough time in vision planning. Oh, I kind of froze a little.
Oh. Come on, don't do that to us. This has been good too. He's having a glitch, but he's coming back. Come on, there you go. We don't spend enough time.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we don't spend enough time vision planning and goal setting and really thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. I was attending this youth generation task force, and we were talking to these young people. And this young man, I think he was only 17. And at this age of 17, you should be filled with such ambition and hope and dreams and fire to do whatever you want to do. So we're asking him, well, what do you want to do 1 year, 2 years from now? And you should see everything, all hope just left his head. He put his head down and said, I don't know. I simply don't know. And I just think that in our communities, if we could have more time for just vision setting, man, we could do a lot more things. And I think we would have more sense of community, because if I hear Jen say, hey, I want to have an empowerment conference for Black women, if I hear her say that, the next time I see her, I'm going to say, hey, what's going on with that conference? Yes. I'm going to the community is going to start to hold you accountable. Yes.
So good. And it's funny because another nugget dropped to me last week too about vision boards. You know, he was talking about how you got a vision board and thing. I was like, we can do a vision party. Why? Because that is so important. Where do you see yourself from 5 years from now? 1 year from now? 1 week from now? What are you doing to get to that ultimate goal or whatever it is that you want to do? And it's so important for that accountability to have somebody to push you. I was a part of this group. It was called Push Partners. And what it was we came together with whatever ideas we wanted to do. And we all encouraged each other. Like, how you doing coming along? Who can I connect you with? Because we were pushing and pulling each other into that purpose that we were saying that we wanted to be about. So that's so amazing. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
I don't want to get off on a tangent. I think I'm talking too much. So no, please
let me. You're good. This is what it's about. This is what it's about. Go ahead.
There's these things called giving circles. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you heard of them, but it's a way in which, people get together. They all donate. They all put money into a pot and then they decide what they want to donate to. Mm-hmm. Right. Very, very effective, very powerful stuff here. Mm-hmm. But along your point with the push partners, you said?
Yes.
I believe that we should start to set up groups like that in the community, not for money, but just to push hope.
Yes.
To push empowerment. Look, this is nothing more than nobody is trying to advance their own agenda. Mm-hmm. We're here for each other. For that brother, that sister's keeper. Yes. I think that could really change the trajectory of us.
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. One of the comments that I got back from a day of empowerment was that they were so excited to see a Black panelist. Everybody was African American, and about their business and about their stuff, and knew what they was talking about and was saying something that was of sound wisdom and words of love, because they were really in it and compassionate about what it was they were sharing. And that piece is also important, to see somebody else that looks like me and you doing their thing. It's like, wait, they can do it, I can do it too. But then it also comes with some other things, because I'm not going to say everybody could just go out here and be doing these different things. They got to have some order. They got to have some charisma, some character, good customer service, But just to be able to do that was amazing to me. And I hold back on nobody. Anybody can be a guest, but sometimes you want to be intentional, because you do want to be able to definitely encourage our people to know that there is greater beyond what you see. Philadelphia, as you said, some things that's going on right now, but there is greater. And when you said about that 17-year-old, it touched my heart a little bit of we're losing our babies, mm-hmm. Some are grateful to just make it to 17. Some are grateful just to make it to 21, to make it to 30, to make it to 35 without losing their lives. And now, whatever age, whatever gender, you're grateful to make it another day, because bullets have no name on it. But you want to just be able to show them that hope, that love, that you can make it. Somebody cares for you. Somebody loves you. Somebody wants you to reach for the sky and tie a knot and grab it and get up there,
And with that, Jen, it doesn't have to have a certain look.
Yes.
Because I'm going to be honest, listen, when I'm sitting down, people think I'm 6'3".
You're not 6'3".
It really depends on the day.
Okay.
Like if it's sunny outside, I could be. Let me just get. Oh man. All right. So legal. What my ID says is 5'5". My ID says 5'5". All right.
Okay. Yeah.
But so I get what I'm trying to pause. All right. What I'm trying to say is that
serious.
All right, so I'm in these spaces of kids. I don't know what they eating and drinking today, but they like 6'4" at 4 years old, and I'm just trying to figure out why that didn't carry over. But my point is, they look up to me. They look up to me like I'm not. Like I'm their height.
Yes.
And I say that because it's the love that makes us feel like we're connected.
Yes.
It's about the love that you show up with. And that's what our young people, that's what anybody is truly searching for. Yes. And it doesn't have a special look. If you can show up and treat me how you want to be treated, if you can show up and be a listening ear, if you can show up and not be judgmental and have a sense of empathy, then I can rock with you. And that's for anybody in the hood. That's for anybody.
Yes. So good, so good. It's so true too. If you and the hope is that sometimes, not sometimes, most times, if we could be kind is always my favorite phrase. I love it from Cinderella, to be kind, because she went through a lot and she still was kind to those sisters when they could have got a little something extra. But I loved it because no matter what she went through, she knew it was greater purpose in her too.
That's right.
But that wasn't her end. But if we can get the mindset of how can I be there for this person, how I wanted somebody to be there for me, or how somebody was there for me to let them know that they can make it too.
That's right.
We got this crab barrel where we're trying to pull each other down. I asked somebody, I was like, how did you get that? It was like, oh, it's like top security and things of that sort. But they asked me. I tell them how you do it. Why? Because I'm confident in who I am. I can share with you how it happened. Because even if we all got the same ingredients for spaghetti, it's still not going to taste the same.
It's not going to. And the truth of the matter is, what's for you is for you.
Yes.
And what's for me is for me.
Yes.
Like, if I can give you, like you said, I can give you the same information, but you're not going to work it how I work it.
Yes.
It's a different level of character, of passion, of essence that I may bring to the table that you may not. But guess what? I'm clapping over here for you.
Yes.
Good job, sis. Good job, bro. And if we can have that level of camaraderie, right? Because collaboration is currency. If we can truly understand that us working together can really advance us all, that, man, oh my God, man, we will be unstoppable.
Unstoppable. And it's really how much you want to invest in you. I'm going to give an example. So for my platform, I use StreamYard, right? StreamYard has a free version, but they also have a version where you have to pay. And depending on which one you want, right? It's nice with the free version, but I can't do all these little extra things that I do and how I colorize things and put my own little backgrounds and things, because then I would have to have their logo on there. But because I pay a little bit more, I get to do what I want because I'm invested in me. And I had so many different conversations with people like, what do you use? And I share, it's like $25 a month. Y'all spend more on that to go out to these places to eat. But amen. But what I'm saying is, when you want to invest in yourself, like, we can have the same tools, but why do yours look like this and yours look like this? How much are you investing?
That's right.
Free is great. But eventually we still got to put something in there. We got to go above and beyond a little bit to say, I want somebody to reach out and see what I'm doing and say like, hey, it's something different about over there. Let me check that out. Not just you're free, can't get it. These freelancers giving out food is blessing masses. But eventually it's still the cost of that. Somebody's sacrificing time to make sure that you're getting it. So everything is not free per se, but just, again, invest in yourself. Taking that time out to do what it is that helps you be the best version of you.
That's a fact, because believe it or not, we always going to be paying a cell phone bill.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're always going to be paying a utility bill. So why not also build myself? Like, how have I built my professional development? Like, where is my money going towards me? So I love the way that you broke that down, because it's essential. And people look at it as, I'm spending money on things that may not carry over value or carry over results, but it's about how you work the investment. How are you going to work, this new level of knowledge that's coming into you?
Yes. And I can give you, and now, please believe I'm the queen of free. I don't have cable because I feel like that was too much for my pockets and things of that sort. So you get these little connections, these friends and families and shares and things and something, but there are some things that you just have to bite the bullet and pay for. Let's talk about your name brand or something. Some people can buy the off-brand of mayonnaise, but some people need that Hellman's.
That's right.
Some people can buy that canned fruit and be great, but some people need that fresh fruit. How are you investing in yourself? What are you pouring back into you?
Yeah.
Look, Sherry said, because Zoom is going to cut you off at 45 minutes. I better pay the fee the way I talk.
I love it.
See, again, I'm the queen of free. You connect with some people that got the hookup. I just saying. Thank you to my hookup. I'm not gonna put you out there. I appreciate you. Love you, girl. You watching? I see you. But yeah, you got to work it out. But again, invest in you. And some things that are free that you could do that can make it amazing: smiling, saying hi to somebody, taking a moment to say, "Hey, how you doing today? What is it you want to do?" I was talking to a young man this weekend, And I was like, what do you want to do when you get older? We had a great conversation. He was telling me how he wants to do like some video editing and some different pieces with that and some designing and things of that sort. But then he said, but so many people think I'm going to go into sports. And
Wow.
I will stop making my babies go into sports, and that's not what they want to do. They can have a career in it if they wanted to, but that's not the end all be all for all of them.
It's not.
Everybody doesn't want to play basketball.
They don't.
Everybody doesn't want to run.
They don't. And
Everybody
listen,
doesn't want to play football. You can change those things, let's find something else. Let me just walk into the bank and be a banker. Help you get a loan. We need somebody to do that. Let me walk into the doctor's office and identify what their ailment is for you. We need somebody there. Everybody can't play basketball. Everybody's not going to make the team either way. Some on the floor and some wishing shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I could have made it.
Look, and you know what? It's so much pressure on them to make that decision because some of them just like to play.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not trying to be this. Maybe this is my form of therapy. This is my escape away, from whatever, but putting that pressure on them to say, you got to do this to be successful is unfair. And it's also robbing them of their destiny, because now it's like, well, if I don't do this, you're basically saying that I can't be successful. So then when I try and I don't become successful because it's not what I really wanted to do anyway, now I come back and I had this level of depression because you told me that this is what I needed to do. And now I'm over here. Now what you got for me? You don't have any opportunities for me. Oh my gosh. You know what I mean? So it's like the cycle just continues over and over again.
And when you take the fun out of something that I just enjoy doing for fun, for leisure activity, and put a demand on it where I have to perform, I don't want to do that free point all the time. Okay. Steph, could do it, turn around, walk away, all the great things. Some people are gifted to do those things, but that doesn't mean they want to do it all the time.
That's right.
Some people are gifted to sing. That doesn't mean they want to do it all the time.
That's right.
Some people are gifted to play an instrument. That doesn't mean they want to do it all the time. Sometimes they want to do something else. Like I may know how to. No, I can't play an instrument. I tried. I can play a tambourine a little bit. But that doesn't mean I want to play it all the time. And if you play that thing too long, your hands going to get tired too. So, let people do what it is that they enjoy doing. And we're not even doing all the same things we were doing 5 years ago.
That's right.
We change and evolve too. So we have to allow others the chance to explore their purpose, to explore what it is they enjoy doing. I tell people all the time, it's like, well, I want to do this. You can do that. You don't have to be here forever. You can sing a couple of years. You can go travel in a couple of years, whatever it is that you want to do, but fulfill what it is you feel that you were here to do. Because
honestly, Jen, like our minds evolve.
Yes.
And I believe that you can live different lives within one lifespan.
Absolutely.
I know for me, when I first got out of college, I was working for somebody. That was a life. Now I'm living this life as an entrepreneur. I think through time, you will evolve and adjust. You may stay in the same field, but it's opportunity for you to do many different things in your lifetime.
Yes, absolutely. And again, enjoy them, because you can say, hey, I tried that. I liked it, didn't like it.
Right. And now you can take that experience and give that to somebody else.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they say get added to your resume. You know how to work good under pressure. You did not like doing it, but you had a deadline. You made that work. Girl, you can work under pressure. Oh, you do that. Oh, boy, you can do that too. Things that sort. So it's building your resume. It's building your skills, because you never know. So I do a lot of volunteering in my church and things that sort, different ministries and things that sort. Always cleaning. Cleaning is always one that you find yourself doing at one time, because like it's your house, you want to make sure it look good too. So when you go other places, you know how to do those skills. So whatever it is that you're doing that's volunteering also helps, build your resume, build your purpose, because you're learning people skills. Cleaning up after people is not always easy. Some of these people is nasty. We learned that recently. Yeah. Soap was still on the shelves, but toilet paper was gone. But eventually you need some soap to clean it all up. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm loving that, because in those things you take on those soft skills that are transferable everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like that, like you said, the communication skills, even just discipline, right? Doing something that you don't like. I tell students all the time that don't enjoy school, and I get it, right? I
Yeah.
think school needs to be evolved and have a student input
Hmm.
as far as what education should look like. But I tell them all the time, hey, sometimes in life you have to do the things that you don't want to do in order to do the things that you want to do.
Yes.
I know I couldn't stand physical science,
Hmm.
but I knew that I had to get through that class that I didn't like to be able to get the diploma that I needed so that I
Yes.
can make money.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to do the things that you don't want to do in
Hmm.
order to get to where you want to be. Yeah.
And so let's also clarify this too, because some people feel like they got to do some things on the streets to get them where they want to be. That's not the end all be all either.
Yeah. Right.
I want to clarify. I had we had a client and they wanted to get a bulletproof vest. And at first, the first initial response was like, "What? Like they need clothes, they need this and things of that sort." But let's really break down a bulletproof vest. A bulletproof vest is a protection. Because why? Bullets have no name on it. So that baby was also trying to make sure he was safe. Now he might have been dealing in things. I don't know. But he also wanted to make sure he was safe. But the mindset for that to be the thing that I need, it's concerning. So what can we do to let you know the streets is not everything that you needed to be? What can you do beyond that? Yes, school is temporary. You need that high school diploma, but even for some jobs, you need something beyond that. So even if you're not going to college, what are some other areas that you could explore? And we'll talk about that next month, because you could go to trade schools, technical schools. There are options for you, and that's what we want to let people know. There are options for you beyond what the community is sharing and showing and making you feel like you need to do.
Yeah, I tell the kids, like, I don't believe that college is for everybody,
Yes.
but I believe education is.
Yes.
Meaning it doesn't matter what field you're going into, there is a level of education that's attached to it. If you want to be an electrician, you may not need to go to college, but you do need to go to that trade school.
Yes.
If you want to be a chef, you may need to go to culinary. There will always be an education tied to something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you always want to build that education. So like even going to college, there's still certifications that you can get. Even in programs to be an electrician, to be a barber, there are new things that come out that you want to make sure that you're aware of, so that you can stay at the top of your game. Like, no, we still coming to you because you know what you're doing. Like you're again investing in you. You're trying to get this great, service, and you're taking the time to get that together.
That's right. People don't get stale out here, people.
Yes, come on.
Don't get stale. Like don't say, hey, I made it, y'all. I accomplished all I needed to do. No, there are other levels that you can go to. Even Jesus, and I can talk about Jesus, right?
You sure can.
All right, even Jesus, in all his glory, he had a transformation on earth. Yes. He transcended into another level of himself. So we all are on levels that we can go to a higher extent. It's just a matter of us believing that there's another level, and then also understanding that we serve a timeless God. And if we understand that, then we know that there's always another point that we can climb higher to.
Absolutely. I also use the analogy of school, how when you're in first grade, when you get to second grade, you're not really doing the first grade stuff anymore. It's a new level that comes with that. And then you get up to 12th grade, it's a new level that comes with that. So then when you're done, you're now technically feeling like you're an adult. It's really ghetto over here. If you're a young person, stay there. Don't come over here. I mean, it has its pluses. But it's also an experience. But it's a new requirement. I can't just sleep in as I want to. I got to live somewhere. I got that phone bill because I got to be on TikTok, Instagram, and all those other things that takes my mind away when I could be doing something also to be educating myself. Some brain teasers to keep that brain function and things of that sort. Moving our bodies to keep our bodies moving and things of that sort. So it's always something, to help us to continue to grow and continue to be the best version of ourselves.
Yeah. I try to stay away from the word perfect because none of us are. That means that every day is a journey. And then also try to go away from entitlement. I have to earn it. Nothing should be just given to me, especially when I think about, my ancestors and how they didn't have the opportunity to dream or live a life full of purpose. So I look at I consider that and say, hey, how dare I leave any day without working hard? How dare I leave any day without trying to impact somebody else based off of what I know my ancestors were a part of? So, yeah.
Yes. And I'm grateful to like the museums and things that start to help us to get a better viewpoint of it. Some movies that help us get a better viewpoint of it.
Yeah.
And that's probably just scratching the surface, because that wasn't really in it per se. But like I think of the Black Wax Museum and going through that experience and seeing all the different pieces of it, and just how things were. Even the African American Museum, is it?
Yeah, in DC. Yeah.
They got this Emmett Till portion. It takes you to a place.
Yeah.
And just the mindset of thinking of how that was for them. Like, I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative because yes, it's still a struggle today, but it's not like how it was. We have a little bit more freedom than what they did have, and I'm grateful for that. But it was only because they stayed on the bus. They, marched. They had their dream and things of that sort. And I don't want to take that for granted. I don't want to just as if that meant nothing. It's because of them that we're able to stand and do those things that we're doing today. And I want to encourage somebody else that they too can stand and do the thing that they want to do today as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is good stuff. I'm loving this conversation.
It is. These questions, they're not happening at all. And that's totally cool. That's totally cool. But, because we're talking about our purpose. Well, why is our purpose so important? Like, why are these things that we're talking about so important for somebody to be thinking of and aware of?
Yeah, I believe that purpose is important because it gives you a reason.
Yes.
It gives you a reason for being, for living, for the way you operate, and I believe that if you understand that you have purpose, I think it kind of gives you like a spiritual essence because you know that it's greater than me. I'm attached to something that called me to something greater. Yes. And because of that, because of my purpose, I'm able to work a little bit harder. I'm able to make sure I go a little bit deeper into this conversation, because I know that somebody could benefit from this. Somebody could be blessed from this. And I think it's so important, especially with our young people, because with a lack of purpose, you can find yourself in places that you don't want to be. You can find yourself making decisions that you don't want to make. And you could be off track for the entirety of your life.
Yes.
And that's scary.
Yes.
And that's a dark place to be. And I feel like sometimes in Philly and not just in Philly, but in anywhere where there's people who don't have purpose, it's like you're walking around with zombies. Like they're alive, they're breathing, they're eating, but there's no spiritual connect. There's no reason for them, for their existence. So, and I believe once a person is able to attach purpose to their lives, they're able to not only honor themselves, but they can honor other people too.
Yes.
And that's important, because when you see all these murders that we're having, all of these homicides, it's because there's a lack of honor. I don't honor myself, and I don't honor you either, because I'm willing to take your life.
Right,
so I think it adds a level of value to living.
Yes, Cynthia. She said, I'm attached to something greater.
Hey.
And that purpose drives you. It'll be some times where you're not getting any sleep. Like, what's sleep? What's that? Because you are so excited about the purpose that you have to do. And it's balanced with it. You're not focused on that purpose 24/7, but there is a piece of you that keeps you going. Some people say my purpose is my children, my purpose is my family, my purpose is I want better for me than what the family had. I'm trying to break generational curses. I'm trying to just, reach for the stars. I'm trying to pursue that thing that they said I couldn't pursue, and that keeps you going. That keeps you motivated. That gets you up even when you don't want to get up. Those people that want to, go to the gym and things of that sort,
right.
It's that purpose of I'm doing this because it's something attached to it, something greater to it. I know that if I finish this, what's on the other side is going to be amazing. Now, let me let you know, though, on the other side, it's going to be another step as you're going higher into something else. But again, it keeps you going and it encourages you to keep on pursuing whatever those dreams are.
Yeah, and it almost even like it even benefits your language and how you talk, how you feel. You know,
Yes.
there's this. I don't mean to get into. I'm an action hero type guy. So
Okay.
there's this in Spider-Man, one of his villains that he fights is Venom, and this guy the Venom is like it's something that takes over him, and it speaks for him, it operates for him, it acts for him.
Yes.
And I believe that's what purpose does. You know, it takes over our mind, it takes over our actions and our thoughts, and we begin to really live that thing out. Whereas I know, like, I have a purpose to be a great husband, and I really desire to be that. So much so that all of my actions, I'm not perfect, right? But all of my actions are geared towards being a great husband. I want to my purpose is to be a great father. So all of my actions is trying to be geared towards being a great father. My language, the way I think, the networks I want to be involved in, you know, so purpose has a ability to shape and position you in places in your life. And it's so important.
I love that piece of, wanting to be that great husband. So you're doing those things to tend to the wife to make sure her needs taken care of. Because what happens is when we're looking out for somebody else in this kind of relationship, because there's some friendships that sometimes I just shared this of us expecting us from somebody else. We're not going to always get that. But when you're in a relationship, it's a little different. A friendship is a little different. Marriage, it's a little different. Because you're doing something to not necessarily appease that person, but you value, you respect, you appreciate that person. So you want them to know that. And as you're doing those things to them, they're like, wait, what can I do for them? Oh, he brought me some flowers. What can I do for him? Oh, she cooked dinner. What can I do for her? Let me clean up the kitchen and things that sort. So you find out what that love language is to keep that forever blossoming. And there's some moments where, it's like, we need some water over here. Our plants are withering and things of that sort. But the hope is, it's still our garden. We still want this garden. So we're going to do the work that it takes to keep that garden going. So many want to be married and don't realize even in that purpose, it's a challenge. It's not as easy as you always think, but it's an amazing, rewarding process. Hope to live to tell a story myself one day. I don't know if I do vicariously through you or whatever, but that's it though, that purpose of if you are meant to be married, because everybody's not meant to be married either. And that's a process because some of us are selfish or some of us don't want to be with somebody else or some of us are just, it's all about me. And that's okay.
And some of us have the wrong ideology of what marriage is.
Yes.
You have this very prominent and popular scripture, wives be submissive to your husband.
Don't be cussing on this show, man. I'm teasing.
No, but I'm with you on that because I don't operate in that, because first of all, if you really break down that scripture and apply other scriptures to it, the scripture also say, husbands love your wives as Christ loves the church. So that requires a level of sacrifice and service as well. But I would say for that part, the reason why I believe my marriage thrives is not perfect is that we both submit to each other. Like there is no, I'm the alpha.
Yes.
We both running this thing.
Yes.
We both making decisions. And matter of fact, listen, I do better with washing clothes, so I'll be washing clothes.
Yes.
Like, it's an exchange. It's that communication. Well, what do you do good? What do you do well at? And what do I do? How can we bring this thing together? And so I'm a big fan for marriage. I love marriage. I love it.
Let's stay here for a second. I love this piece too of you're better with laundry, so you do that things that sort. She's better with other things. It also boils down to what works best for your union. It may be that it's known or it's said to be where the woman cooks, the woman cleans, the woman and the guy just bring home the bacon or whatever it is in that sort. But it's really between those two that are in that union what works best for their house. And so many times outsiders try to mess up what they got going on in their house that works great for them. and then you got another problem on your hands. So whatever couples, any couples out there, know that what works best for you two have that conversation, because you two are the ones that's in it. You two and God,
That's right.
Because somebody else will come along and be like, well, I wouldn't do it that way. Well, you're not in this relationship.
You wouldn't do it and stay over there.
Okay. Because then that'll mess you up. I was telling somebody, she was like, just the different things and her expectations and things. I was like, so you can't go off with somebody else. You got to have a conversation with the person you're in a relationship with.
That's right.
Because if I keep on going to Sue and she telling me to do it this way, and I come over to John, he like, you know what? This is not even right no more. Sue, you messed me up. Then you're upset with. No, you made that decision.
That's
so really think about what it is that you're doing. Have that conversation with yourself of knowing what it is that you want. Had a conversation with them of what it is they want. But also, I always share. A lot of times you can think through something and process something, and then you go to the person want to talk it out and think they're supposed to have the answer. That doesn't always happen. You have to allow that person time to process whatever is going on. I don't know how we got here, but whoever's on here that's having this problem, and you process and said this is how it's supposed to be, and you went to your significant other and they was like, all right, I want to think about it. And you're like, but I want it. The Bible also says, I told this girl this the other day, I said the Bible says the man raped me on the rooftop, then in a house with a nagged woman. So that means Jesus even knew that we can run our mouths too much. Sometimes we got to shut up. Hear what it is, and then let it go. Because if you hounce on something, nobody wants to be around that. And the same vice versa. Right. The guy could do that too, where it's like, come on, I don't want to hear that. But whatever it is, you have that conversation together because you value that commitment. Whoever your accountability partners are, you reach out to them to get that support. Counseling is always good. I'm an advocate for premarital counseling. But guess what? Once you get married, sometimes you need a checkup.
Listen, and I'm all for that. Number one, I would say to your point about when to bring up an issue to your spouse. Timing is so important.
Yes, come on.
Respect that. If you see that it's not a good time right now, then hey, I just want to let you know I did want to talk to you. I see that you're busy right now. Can you let me know when there's a time better for you, or I'll just come back. But just know that there's something burning on inside of me that I need to tell you. Right? I mean, like, because the thing is, are you trying to fight or are you trying to solve something? Like, what question are you trying to answer here? But that takes maturity from both sides too. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Can I be honest over here?
Come on, yes, please. We over here honest. This is a safe place. We helping our friends tonight.
Okay, so my wife brought an issue to me about 2 weeks ago, and I was not at the space to hear what she wanted to say, right? So two things can happen here. I can say, hey, babe, can we talk about this another time? Or I can be respectful to the fact that this is hurting her. Maybe my space right now should be, I need to be here for her.
Yes.
So let me get out of me. And say, okay, babe, I was busy, but what do you have to say? Let's talk about it, right? Because some things can't wait, especially if it's trauma, if it's hurting you and it's burning inside of you, right? So it's all about that communication and then evaluating. Like every 3 months, it's not every 3 months, but every so often, I check in with my wife. Hey, man, how's things going? Do you feel appreciated? Do you feel this? Do you feel that? And you know what? Matter of fact, what are some things I can work on? I'm not against asking those questions or having those tough, hard conversations because those usually after that comes growth if you commit to it.
Yes, I like it. It's like that. My garden is the analogy tonight because it's some weeds that get there sometimes. And sometimes you don't know that those weeds are there until you had a conversation of, did I do that right? Did you like that? Was this okay? And then sometimes you evaluate your own self. I don't feel like my tone was right. Let me go back and apologize. I'll overthink something all the time. They like, get out your head, Jennifer. But for me, I just want to say, I meant that in love. I care for you. I wanted to make sure that you're good. Just like, we cool. All right, awesome. Because we want to make sure the air stay clear. Because if not, there's some little foxes that come in. And before you know, we're like, what happened? Now we fighting.
That's right.
We're not resolving nothing because now you're ready to throw abuse. I'm like, wait a minute, what? So so good. I love it. But yes, that's so important of having those check-ins, and that's a piece with your purpose too. It's all tying into because we got some people out there that's married. We got some people that aspire to be married. There's some pieces that you want to have some conversations, even on your job. We have a yearly evaluation.
That's
What
right.
am I doing that's good? What could be better? Are we really open and receptive to the feedback that we get sometimes? You late often. You don't really take criticism very well.
Yeah.
I did it. No, it's time to sometimes listen and then apply what's being said so that you can be that better person. Because we say we want to be this grand person, but can we really take the feedback to know how to be a better version of ourselves? We can sometimes just see that focus view, but we don't see the things that's coming on the wayside, and others can see that to help us to get ourselves together.
That's right. I'm a firm believer in that. We got to evaluate every role that we have, whether it's husband, father, teacher, daughter, whatever the case may be. Evaluate your roles and see where growth can take place.
Where growth can take place. All right. So what is it that you offer? What services do you do? Because it sounds like you do some marriage work over there. So y'all do some couple stuff. What y'all do over there?
You know what? We do a lot, and I'm glad that you said that because marriage and relationship counseling is another leg that we are adding come this fall. For people that want to get married, for people that just in a relationship, right? Yeah. We want to offer that, unbiased counseling, information. So yes, that is a pillar of ours. But we also offer public speaking, entrepreneurship, sports mentorship, cooking with purpose. And that's a program where, I think in Black and brown communities, it's very heavy with food that is not good for us. And we eat it because it's relatively cheap and it's accessible, but it's also very damaging to the way we think, the way we operate, and just overall self.
Yes.
And we want to educate people in a very fun and loving way on how to make better choices to cook at home or even when you're out on the road to buy something greater. Yeah, so we also do business coaching. So for people that are entrepreneurs to help them grow in their business, we do a lot. We do a lot over here.
So let's talk about the purpose parties because I thought that was really cool. What is a purpose party?
All right, so that's specifically for basketball. Actually, that's basketball and cooking. So what happened is, if it's basketball, they'll come over to a facility that we use. We'll do some different basketball games. We'll sit them down for like a life skills class. We'll do some giveaways, some prizes, and we'll just have a good time. And the cooking purpose party is the same way, in that we'll develop a meal that we'll cook together. We'll discuss how nutrition is good for your body, good for your soul. We'll have some giveaways and we'll just have a good time. But it has been a very interesting experience, whereas everybody leaves happy. Everybody leaves with some good information that they can take with them, and it's often heavily referred. So it's good.
I love it. I just love the also piece of it's constructive. So it's not just us come out, we're having fun, but we're also learning something and walking away with something to know to put into our daily living as well. Wait, Maurice said do this. Let's also add this. How can we do that? Let's talk about something. And it's kind of like with our family nights of encouraging families to sit down at the table and eat together. These cell phones get us in so much trouble because we don't have time for the people that are here. So really trying to have that moment to talk, to interact, to engage. Some of these babies don't know how to cook. We need to have some cook with purpose classes so that we know how to do these things, because that's also a reason why we're going to the fast food spots or the quick spots to get something to eat. Because it's easy, it's fast. I saw this picture the other day. They took some like the TV dinner macaroni and cheeses, and they had like 7 of the boxes. They put it in a pan like they really made it. I said,
oh no,
what is going on? But this is what people are doing because they may not know how to cook. And I know good cooks know how to cut some corners, but if you just put that in there, and we already not really doing good with potlucks anyway, because
everybody can't bring something. That's for sure. Everybody can't bring. Just bring the ice, please. Can you please bring the ice?
Or drinks. As I like to say, I'd be like, I bring Tupperware. It depends on the spot I'm going to, because I'm only taking Tupperware if they know how to cook, because then I can bring it back home. But if they're not cook, all right, we'll see. Well, I'll bring me some of these that I know I'll eat, But that's always the question at a cookout. Who made the beans? Who made the potato salad?
That's right.
Some people, you got to know your lane. You got to know your lane. And that's on purpose, too, because sometimes okay, yep, she out here. So somebody was saying, felt like they were a singer and things like that. And I was listening, and I was like, oh, okay. So my mom was a musician, so music runs in the family. So I know a little something to know how things happen and things or whatever. And I was like, so you want the honest feedback or you want this feedback?
Yes.
He was like, the honest feedback. I said, okay. Because as we were saying, I was like, is he going to tell the truth or he's not going to tell the truth? Young guy or whatever. And I was just explaining to him, like, you don't have to do all these runs and riffs all the time. It wasn't nothing harsh. Just sing. Let it flow. When as things come, it comes. But sometimes we try to do so much extra. We cook and we want to do so much extra and put some extra things on there. Just stick to the script and some extra things will come. But you don't have to go above and beyond all the time. Just let it naturally happen. Let it naturally.
And if it ain't natural, it ain't supposed to be. Listen,
it ain't supposed to be.
I'm with you, because some people may say you hating. No, I ain't hating. This is. I'm loving on you, actually, because I want to tell you this before you get booed, and then you're gonna be mad at me because you ain't tell me.
Yes, and then I'm gonna tell you, and you better not come back to me, because I'm not. Well, you can't come back to me. I'm sorry. You can come back to me, and I won't say I tell you so. We'll talk about what else can we do. If that didn't work, what else can we do? Let's work out this plan of what you can do to get this together.
Right. Like maybe you love music. Maybe you can be like a producer or, whatever the case may be, but not singing though. I don't know if that's what God said. I don't know. I can't.
Cooks too, but I let that be. Lisa said, was that me trying to be a singer? No, sunshine, it wasn't you. If you want to be one, look. And if you want to be one, we'll get you some lessons. There's people out here that can give you lessons if it's something that you want to do. But again, that goes back to investing in you.
Yeah,
if you believe that's your purpose and that's what you're supposed to be doing, you need to invest in it. If you feel like you need to be a speaker, are you taking some classes to learn how to enunciate your words?
That's right. That's right.
Are you reading things because you want to be able to read contracts? A lot of times back in the day, they got in trouble because they couldn't read, so it was getting. Their funds weren't going straight to them. It was going all these different other places. So it's working the system. So again, you have to invest in yourself. If you can't read, find somebody that can read. But I still want you to learn how to read, because sometimes that person you found, we've heard many stories of that, where somebody gets somebody in their corner and is like, oh, but I could do this and I could do that. Ooh. And then they screwing you over, and that's not cool either. So again, be about your business. Invest in who you are. Wait a minute. He said it wasn't me. No, if you want to be a singer, you can do that. But I feel like you're doing good with your speaking, sir. Thomas Water Speaks. Y'all check him out. You're doing good with your speaking. You stay there. You stay there. Yes, Lisa. Let Jesus lead you. Your gift will make room for you.
Oh, yes.
And if it's not making room, maybe that's not it.
Yeah. If every door closed, like
yes. On Sunday, the preacher, let me see if I can find it. I'm not gonna be able to find it because I want to tell you, all right? Here we go. He said, don't tell me what you can't do when God is behind it. And so many times, if we're doing something and God has blessed it, it will continue to flourish and blossom. Yeah. I mean, it'll be some high moments, some low moments, but you stay in it. And as doors open, as people come and say, what you're doing is amazing. I was really blessed by it. Or how can I get in contact with that person you had? That's God. Because you're doing something good that's grateful for other people. But there's some things that work out. It's like those one-hit wonders. It was great, but that was all they could do. Right. That purpose of what they were doing was now over. So again, flow in what it is that you feel you are gifted and born to do. Invest in yourself. I'm going to close them, but it ain't me. It's you. Find the things that you find the most joy in. And that's my heart for this month of It Takes a Village. And tonight we're just trying to encourage you to really just attach to whatever your purpose is. To connect with people. There are a lot of people that are mentors that want to help you do what it is that you want to do. I have people that reach out to me. I'm like, how can I help? And then I'm talking and I feel like I'm rambling and I'm like, oh my gosh, this was so good.
Yeah.
Jesus, it was only God, because I'm just sharing my experience of how I can help you be the best version of you. And that's what it's about, friends. It takes a village. Reach out to those people that can help you be the best version of you. Go ahead, Maurice. Come on.
Am I closing?
Well, whatever else you want to share about what it is that you do, and some pieces that you want us to walk away with.
Okay. I'll say this. Oftentimes when I'm speaking to anybody, young, old, young adult, I often ask them what their spark is. And, I define sparks as the deep passions, talents, interests, skills, and ideas that each of us have.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to emphasize that word each, knowing that all of us have them. We all have sparks, multiple ones. One of my sparks is basketball. Another one is teaching. Another one is speaking. But we all have these sparks. And the Bible says in Romans 12, verse 6, that we all have gifts. And whatever that gift is, do it cheerfully. And I would say to anybody that's listening tonight, to understand and take time, invest in yourself to figure out what that spark is or what your sparks are, and go forward with that, because in your spark, that's where your purpose is. And if your spark will attach you to your purpose, and your purpose is going to attach you to God. And I believe that if we were to focus more on those things, number one, that we will be more fulfilled and more happy. We will have more peace. And when we will have that level of self-love, it's easier to love somebody else. But we don't some of us don't have that level of self-love or level of self-care or self-worth or value. So it's hard for us to transfer that over to other settings, genuinely, authentically, so find what your spark is, take that spark, because that's going to lead you to your purpose. And also even figure out, hey, can this passion of mine lead me to some profit? Because I believe in that. I don't believe that money answers everything.
Right.
But man, money is a great thing to have.
It is.
So how can that passion turn into profit? Because we never know who we could be connected to if we were to operate truly in what we were called to do.
Wow. So good. So good.
Oh,
so good. That's it, friends.
yes.
Can you make funds from it? Sometimes you can make it a side hustle because you really enjoy doing it. And sometimes money will come. Sometimes money won't come.
Absolutely.
But you'll still feel this sense of reward. Gen Cares is a free platform that we do just to be able to share information with others. It's not something that I get a monetary from, but I get so much encouragement. I get feel from getting knowledge from my own self. And that's purpose, benefit purpose, it's coming back to me and it comes back to you. So again, whatever it is that you're meant to do, and I promise you, like he said, like the guy on Sunday had said, don't tell me what you can't do when God is behind it. Because when you got the backing of God, whatever door you need opens up. I meet amazing people. Again, Maurice, we've been rocking. He's like, whatever you're doing, how can I be a part? That's because we're doing a good thing. The mission, everybody is united of how we can help somebody else. Our purposes have united of what can I do? Because it takes that village to pull hands together, all hands on deck to do what it is to help somebody else know that they can make it. We've been in some situations that caused us to say, what can I do to help somebody else?
That's good. And I just want to say one more thing to that point of, when you have that vision, or when you have visions of what you believe you were called to do, of course, there's levels to that, right? Like, you spoke about the young man that wanted to sing, and clearly singing is not where he should be, right? But there are other times when we do have accurate visions and accurate, things that we should be accomplishing, but other people may not see it how we see it.
Yes.
And we have to level this sense of dream stamina, meaning we're going to be resilient no matter what, to accomplish what we believe that we said we were going to do. Because here's the thing, it's my vision. So you're not going to see it how I see it. You're playing catch up to who I believe that I'm supposed to be, or doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And eventually you'll get there. But when you get there, I'm going to be at another vision, and I'm going to bring you up to that vision. So you have to have a level of resiliency, because even people that love you can't see what your vision is. Even so, it's not always from a level of hate. It's just they don't have the same vision that you have. So have some dream stamina, continue pushing forward, and understand that God did call you for this, and then eventually they will understand. But it's not for them.
It's not for, let's stay right here for a second, because like God gave you a dream. I believe God, works in dreams and things of that sort. He gives you a vision. He gives you the piece of what it is you should be doing. And sometimes we get so excited. Hey, Maurice, guess what? I'm supposed to da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm excited about it, but Maurice ain't excited. Like, what's going on? He didn't give it to Maurice. He gave it to me. And sometimes we got to tell some, keep some, and save some, or whatever it is. You know what I'm trying to say? Because they may not get as excited. And sometimes we get sad because they're not as excited. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do what it is that you're doing. They can't see it. They see the vision that they have, or they see what they're trying to figure out with them own selves, with them own selves. Lord, my Lord, you know what I'm saying, though. Within themselves is what I'm trying to say. But they can't grab hold to that. But you keep on working your pound. You keep on doing the things that you have to do, and as it comes to fruition, they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, I see you." You know. But you got to keep going at it, because sometimes everybody might not jump on your train, and it's okay.
We can't be discouraged by people that may lack discernment. And that's truly important, because where you're coming from, your source may be different than mine. So we have to understand that. Tell some, keep some, and you'll always have some.
And that's the village. You're looking out for me. You didn't have me hanging out there like that. Thank you so much, Cree. Tell some, keep some. You always have some. Thank you, Sunshine. Right. And that's it. How can we help somebody else? I love it. And the young man, I don't want to say that he couldn't sing. It's just, it was just some pointers to help him. God forbid he watching things. So, sweetie, you did a good job, son. You did. But I'm just saying, like, you don't have to do all the extras all the time. Just give them straight what it is. Because sometimes people try to talk and they do big words. If your crowd doesn't understand it, you're wasting our time. It sounds nice, or it doesn't sound nice, because if you can't even pronounce it correctly, I can read the Bible and get myself hemmed up. You think I'm going to come out here and say some kind of word and get... You're not going to do that to me. Not today. But that's what happened. So, like, and just because, he felt like he could sing right there, that doesn't mean that was the lane for him to be forever. And that's something, too. We have so many different talents, and we're like this octopus in our arm in so many different things. But one thing at a time. Sometimes you can multitask, sometimes you can't. But knowing that there is something else after the end of whatever it is that you're doing right now. So, yes. So this was great. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes. I mean, yep. Yeah. I hope that our friends learned something and walked away with something. Y'all be sure to follow Maurice. He's doing some amazing things. He actually has a website. Share with us what your website is.
It is bornwithpurpose.com. Sorry, bornwpurpose.com. I always messed that up.
Got it. Hold on. Burn. Look at my life together. She's tired, y'all. She's tired. Is that right? bornwpurpose.com?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yes. So y'all check him out and follow. He has some amazing things that he's doing. He's a traveler. Wherever you are, he can help you out and things of that sort. Phone call away to give you some support. Also has a book that'll be coming out soon. Tell us about that.
So it's called Layla's Dreams, and that's my daughter's name is Layla. I'm big on affirmations, visions, and goal setting. So it's just a children's book. It's a conversation between her and I, talking about a dream that she had on who she would like to be when she's of age. And it's also a parent help book, because it kind of goes through how to communicate with your child in the realm of to be supportive always, and that we are our children's number one cheerleader, number one fan, and that our job is to hype them up. When they say, "Daddy, look at," we gotta make sure that go girl. We gotta do that. That's our job. Does that for us. So yeah.
Yes, I love that. I was at a community event this week, and we donate book bags too. And a young lady had like a little wand, like, and she's like, "Magic, magic, you're a frog. Magic, magic, you're a butterfly." I was showing off a butterfly. I'm not gonna kill that baby dream. I said, "Can you change me back though? I want to be human again." She changed it back. I said, "Oh, that was fun being a butterfly." And that's it, supporting them and whatever it is that they're dreaming to do. Why? Because the sky's the limit, and it starts right there. If you're encouraging them to be whatever it is they want to be, they can do that by you speaking that good word into their lives. So good. Thank you again so much for joining us tonight, Maurice. May you have a great evening. Friends, do be sure to join and follow him as he's doing some amazing things with Born with Purpose. If you're my friend on Facebook, I tagged him so you can connect with his nonprofit as well as him personally and all of that going from there. All right. So you have a great evening, Maurice. Thank you so much again. Yes, so that was amazing. Thank you so much to Maurice Williams of Born with Purpose. Friends, did y'all have fun tonight? I had a blast. It was so much. It was such a good conversation. Some pieces, I didn't really, we went off script, but guess what? It was needed, everything that was shared. Let me get in these comments because I missed them earlier. I'm so sorry. The conversation was so good. Kiana went to school. She said, "Hey, Jennifer and Maurice, great nuggets of wisdom being given." Absolutely. Lisa said, "Young people leave the fight for rights and freedom in the past. I feel led to help them see their purpose. I want them to know they are special despite what they're being told." And that's what it's about. If you can let somebody else know that they are special despite what they're being told, they think that the end all be all is sometimes carrying around, a gun or doing these fights and things of that sort. But can we talk about some things? Can we really just have a sit down and talk about some things? Can we love on each other? Can we help each other? Yes. Hey, Mama Wanda, allow others to explore other things. That's good. Absolutely. We want to encourage youth, older, whatever age, to do what it is that you enjoy doing. So again, we thank you all so very much. I do ask that you join me on Saturday. If you're not busy, I will be at the first annual Teen Summit for Kids in the Hood. It's going to be pretty good. Yes, Kids in the Hood presents a first annual Teen Summit, Thriving and Surviving Through the Pandemic. It's going to be in person on this Saturday, August 28th from 10 to 4, and lunch will be provided. If you want to attend, just visit Eventbrite and search Kids in the Hood. And guess what your girl going to be talking about? Mental wellness, mental health. Why? Because it is so important. And we want you to really talk about those different things that are going on. That's part of our purpose too. And in our purpose, maybe talking to a professional as needed. Because sometimes we can't pursue our purpose because some things that happened when we were younger. Some things that happened as we got older. Somebody said something. Somebody did something that threw us off just a little bit. So be sure to reach out to somebody to talk it through if you need to. Why? Because there's nothing wrong with doing that. All right. So be sure to join us. Give me 1 second. Because I want to give this to you right, because next week we're going to close out our August series. We're going to have, 1 second. We're going to have Michael Harris for our There's Hope. He's going to close us out of our It Takes a Village series. It has been amazing. I hope that you have been enjoying yourself. Let me see. Yes, thank you so much again, Chris. She said, "I got you, sis." You got to have people got your back. Let me see. So that had to do a rewind late. Sorry. No worries. It was good. Be sure to let me know how you liked it, too. Lisa said, "Thanks, Jen, for bringing us resources we can use. Keep walking in your purpose." I'm not crying today, but I thank you for that flower. I appreciate it. We are doing what we can. I appreciate my board. Lisa's part of our board, and Shonda. We have a meet coming up to plan what we have coming up for the end of the year and next year. Why? Because we want to keep on bringing you amazing things. So this Saturday, join us for Kids in the Hood. On Monday, we're closing out with Michael Harris for There's Hope. And I feel like that is everything I have. I do love and appreciate you all up. Don't forget our quote of the day. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. Friends, what's your purpose? What's your dream? You can do it. You want to talk to me? Let's figure out what it is. Let's write out that plan of how you can make it happen. Because I believe in you. And I appreciate you for believing in me. Why? Because you're listening to me right now. I appreciate that. And I believe in you. So whatever your purpose is, whatever your dream is, let's talk it out and brainstorm how we can make that happen. All right? I love you all for real. Until next time, see ya.